Chapter 2 The Pool of Tears. More and more strange, says Alice. She is so surprised that she forgets how to speak good English for a moment. Now I am opening up like the biggest telescope ever. Goodbye, feet. When she looks down at her feet, they seem to be almost out of sight. They are getting so far away. Oh, my poor little feet, she thinks. I wonder who will put on your shoes and socks for you now, dear feet. I am sure I cannot do it. I will be too far away to help you. You must take care of yourselves, but I must be kind to them. Alice thinks. Or maybe they will not walk where I want to go. Let me think. I will give them a new pair of boots every Christmas. She plans how she will do this. They must go by the mail, she thinks. How funny it will be to send presents to my own feet, and how strange the address will look. Alice's right foot, hearthrug, near the fender, with Alice's love. Oh dear, what silly things I am saying. Just then her head hits the roof of the hall. She is now more than 9 feet tall. She quickly picks up the little golden key and hurries to the garden door. Poor Alice! She can only lie down on one side and look onto the garden with one eye. But getting through the door is more impossible than ever. She sits down and starts to cry again. You should be ashamed of yourself, Alice says to herself. You are such a big girl now to keep crying like this. Stop right now, I tell you. But she keeps crying. She cries so much that there is a big pool of tears around her. The pool is about 4 inches deep and goes halfway down the hall. After some time, she hears little footsteps in the distance. She quickly dries her eyes to see what's coming. It is the white rabbit coming back. He is wearing nice clothes. He has a pair of white gloves in one hand and a big fan in the other. He is running in a big hurry. He talks to himself as he comes. Oh, the Duchess, oh, she will be so angry if I make her wait. Alice feels so desperate that she's ready to ask anyone for help. When the rabbit comes near her, she begins to speak in a quiet, shy voice. Please, sir. The rabbit jumps in surprise. He drops the white gloves and the fan. He runs away into the dark as fast as he can. Alice picks up the fan and gloves. The hall is very hot, so she fans herself while she talks. Dear, dear, how strange everything is today. Yesterday, things were normal. I wonder if I changed during the night. Let me think. Was I the same when I woke up this morning? I think I remember feeling a little different. But if I am not the same, then who am I? That is the big question. She starts to think about all the children she knows who are her age. She wants to see if she could have changed into one of them. I am sure I am not Ada, she says. Her hair is in long curls, and my hair is not curly at all. And I am sure I cannot be Mabel. I know many things, and she knows very little. Also, she is she, and I am I. And, oh dear, how confusing this all is. I will try to remember all the things I used to know. Let me see. 4 times 5 is 12, and 4 times 6 is 13, and 4 times 7 is... Oh dear, I will never get to the 20 at this rate. Well, the multiplication table is not important now. Let's try geography. London is the capital of Paris, and Paris is the capital of Rome. And Rome? No, that's all wrong. I am sure. I must have changed into Mabel. I'll try to say, how doth the little... She crosses her hands on her lap like she's saying lessons. She begins to repeat it, but her voice sounds strange. The words do not come out the same as they used to. How does the little crocodile make his shining tail better and pour the waters of the Nile on every golden scale? How happily he seems to smile, how neatly he spreads his claws, and welcomes little fishing with gently smiling jaws. I am sure those are not the right words, says poor Alice. Her eyes fill with tears again, and she continues. I must be Mabel after all. I will have to go and live in that small house. I will have almost no toys to play with, and oh, so many lessons to learn. No, I have decided. If I am a bell, I will stay down here. It will not help if they put their heads down and say, Come up again, dear. I will only look up and say, Who am I then? Tell me that first. Then, if I like being the person, I will come up. If not, I will stay down here until I am somebody else. But, oh dear, cries Alice, suddenly bursting into tears. I wish they would put their heads down. I am so very tired of being all alone here. As she says this, she looks down at her hands. She is surprised to see that she has put on one of the rabbit's little white gloves while she was talking. How did I do that? She thinks. I must be getting small again. She gets up and goes to the table to measure herself. She finds that she's not about 2 feet tall. She's getting smaller quickly. She soon finds out that this is because of the fan she's holding. She drops it quickly, just in time to avoid disappearing completely. That was close, says Alice. She is very scared by this sudden change, but very happy to still exist. And now for the garden. She runs very fast back to the little door. But, oh no, the little door is closed again. The little golden key is lying on the glass table as before. Things are worse than ever, thinks the poor child. I was never so small as this before. Never. And I say it is too bad. It is. As she says these words, her foot slips. In another moment, splash! She is up to her chin in salt water. Her first thought is that she has somehow fallen into the sea. In that case, I can go back by train, she says to herself. Alice went to the seaside once in her life. She learned that wherever you go on the English coast, you find many bathing machines in the sea. You see some children digging in the sand with wooden spades. Then there is a row of houses, and behind them a train station. However, she soon realizes that she is in the pool of tears she cried when she was 9 feet tall. I wish I had not cried so much, says Alice as she swims around trying to find her way out. I will be punished for it now, I suppose, by drowning in my own tears. That will be a strange thing, for sure. But everything is strange today. Just then, she hears something splashing in the pool a little way off. She swims closer to see what it is. At first, she thinks it must be walrus or hippopotamus, but then she remembers how small she is now. She soon sees that it is only a mouse that has fallen in like her. Would it help to speak to this mouse? Thinks Alice. Everything is so unusual down here that I think it might be able to talk. Anyway, there is no harm in trying. So she begins. Oh, Mouse, do you know the way out of this pool? I am very tired of swimming around here. Oh, Mouse. Alice thinks this must be the right way to speak to a mouse. She has never done such a thing before. But she remembers seeing in her brother's Latin grammar book a mouse of a mouse, two mouse, a mouse, O mouse. The mouse looks at her with curiosity. It seems to wink with one of the little eyes, but it says nothing. Maybe it does not understand English, thinks Alice. I think it might be a French mouse that come over with William the Conqueror. Alice knows some story, but she's not very clear about how long ago things happened. So she begins again. Oui, ma chatte. This is the first sentence in her French lesson book. It means, where's my cat? The mouse suddenly jumps out of the water. It seems to shake all over with fear. Oh, I am sorry, cries Alice quickly. She is afraid that she has hurt the poor animal's feelings. I forgot you do not like cats. Not like cats, cries the mouse in a high, angry voice. Would you like cats if you were me? Well, maybe not, says Alice in a kind voice. Don't be angry about it, but I wish I could show you our cat Tina. I think you would start to like cats if you could see her. She's such a dear, quiet thing, Alice continues, half to herself as she swims lazily around in the pool. She sits purring so nicely by the fire, licking her paws and washing her face. She is such a nice soft thing to hold, and she's so good at catching mice. Oh, I am sorry, cries Alice again. This time, the mouse is bristling all over. She is sure it must be really offended. We won't talk about her anymore if you don't want to. We indeed, cries the mouse. It is shaking down to the end of its tail. As if I would talk about such a thing. Our family has always hated cats. Nasty, low, vulgar things. Don't let me hear that name again. I won't, I promise, says Alice. She is in a big hurry to change the subject. Are you fond of dogs? The mouse does not answer, so Alice continues eagerly. There is such a nice little dog near our house. I would like to show you. A little bright-eyed terrier, with such long curly brown hair. And it fetches things when you throw them. And it sits up and begs for its dinner. And it does all sorts of things. I can't remember half of them. And it belongs to a farmer, and he says it's so useful. It's worth 100 pounds. He says it kills all of the rats and oh dear, cries Alice in a sad voice. I am afraid I've offended it again. The mouse is swimming away from her as fast as it can go. It is making quite a disturbance in the pool as it goes. So she calls softly after it. Mouse, dear, please come back again. We won't talk about cats or dogs either, if you don't like them. When the mouse hears this, it turns around and it swims slowly back to her. Its face is quite pale with anger, Alice thinks. It says in a low, shaking voice, let us get to the shore. Then I'll tell you my story. You'll understand why I hate cats and dogs. It is time to go. The pool is getting quite full of birds and animals that have fallen into it. There is a duck and a dodo, a lory and an eagle, and several other strange creatures. Alice leads the way, and the whole group swims to the shore.